All right, 3, 2, 1. What's up, gentlemen? Welcome back.
What's good?
Oh, man.
Ahoy.
It's been a while. Well, it's actually been a while.
Feels like it's been a long time.
Well, it's been longer for Dusty. For you and I, it's only been 2 weeks, which also feels like a long time, but I'm still fucking sick. A lot has happened since the last time we recorded. This is crazy. Fucking crazy shit going on. I got COVID. Dusty's in a new location, as per usual. Marvin's pregnant. It's unbelievable.
Yep. Having twins.
What the hell are we supposed to use, man? Harsh language?
Episode 99, where we've made it.
Yep.
Do we know what we're going to do for episode 100? Did we figure it out? We talked about it after we record. I got a couple of ideas.
Think so, yeah.
I have a couple of ideas. We have to just...
Maybe we could do the live stream.
Maybe we do a live stream. I don't know. We'll see.
I don't know.
We'll talk about it. Got to be something kind of cool, though. But today, we're here to talk about the Bikeriders. Very excited to talk about this movie. Could not wait to watch this. I wanted to see it in theaters, and I couldn't organize it with my buddies. And lucky enough, the movie industry's in shambles, so it went on streaming 2 days later.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So that was nice. But how have you guys been? What are you guys up to?
I've been good.
Yeah.
I haven't been watching much. Honestly, haven't been watching much at all. Been doing some gaming.
Yeah, what have you been playing?
Riot, the company that makes League of Legends, released an alpha lab test of their fighting game.
Oh yeah, you were very excited for that.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it good?
Pretty fun. Yeah, it's great.
Is it League of Legends
lot of
champs?
Fun. Yeah. Not all the champs. There's like 6 champs, but some fan favorites in there.
My boy Tom Kench in there?
Nah, no Tom Kench.
Ah, fuck.
There's only 6 champs so far. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's fun.
You said you heard about it, but I'm very excited in gaming space. This isn't a gaming podcast, but I have to talk about it. There was a moment in history, it was like just peak gaming, And that is inarguably Modern Warfare 2. Like, I've just never had a better time playing video games in my life than Modern Warfare 2. Close second is Gears of War. But Gears of War transitioned into Modern Warfare and then Modern Warfare 2.
Mm-hmm.
So Activision was supposed to release a Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer remaster. For some mysterious reason, they scrapped it. I guess they don't like money.
Yeah.
I think actually what really happened is they didn't want it to dominate the sales of the actual Call of Duty release that they were putting out.
Probably.
Because nobody would give a shit about a new Call of Duty when Modern Warfare 2 is out.
Yep.
And they just scrapped it. But a bunch of modders are out here doing the Lord's work, and they made a full mod, Modern Warfare 2 Remastered, multiplayer, that runs off the base Call of Duty 4 remaster that came out in 2017.
Oh, yeah.
And I just randomly saw it on Twitter one day, and I was like, excuse me? And it's fucking, I've been watching gameplay footage of it, people doing like alpha tests for it. It's like literally the Modern Warfare 2 that I love and remember and cherish. And it looks so good. And they've added a bunch of stuff. They added all the Call of Duty 4 maps. They added 10 new maps that they custom made based off of Modern Warfare 2 campaign.
Oh, wow.
And it's got all the Modern Warfare 2. So there's over 50 maps in total. They added a whole new progression system that has like the original feel of like prestiging and all this stuff, but it's like they added their own like twists to it. It's got all sorts of like skins from some of the other Call of Duties. I'm so excited. It comes out on the 16th. Are you going to play it with me, Marvin?
The 16th?
Oh, yeah.
Sure. Maybe I'll give it a shot.
I
wasn't a huge Modern Warfare 2 guy, as you know. Everybody knows this. Everyone knows this.
I don't know this.
I am a Black Ops guy.
Oh.
Black Ops 1 is the best Call of Duty game of all time.
There's just no way you like. There's just no way you like Black Ops better than Modern Warfare 2.
I do.
Dusty, so maybe put your light on now because now you're starting to get dark.
I'm a Battlefield guy.
Battlefield. Hey, listen, Battlefield Bad Company 2 is one of my favorite shooters of all time.
Battlefield was always good. Battlefield's a different game, though. It's a different experience.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, it's much different.
And back in the day, it was always, Call of Duty versus Battlefield. It's like you had the two camps. It was like iPhone and Android. I was always a Call of Duty guy, but, I haven't played.
For me, it was really Call of Duty versus Call of Duty in the realm of Activision versus Treyarch.
Yeah.
Like that was the
Battlefield
real
1942 Desert Combat mod, circa 2000.
Oh, I've never even played that. Damn, 2000.
Y'all don't even know.
I was probably still playing 64 and shit.
That was when you could mod games still. And they were fun.
I don't think I've legitimately enjoyed a Call of Duty game since Modern Warfare 2.
Speaking of games, I don't know if you heard this, Dan. It's a piece of news. I was going to bring it up, but did you hear that they're making a Halloween game?
I did not hear that.
Oh, yeah. I did hear that.
Two new games based on the 1978 horror classic are in development at Boss Team Games. IGN can exclusively reveal. Details are limited, but Carpenter's involved. This is what he had to say. As a huge gamer myself, I'm thrilled to help bring Michael Myers to life again in this game, and my hope is to scare you silly. We will be intimately involved in development of the new project.
There's two games coming out?
Yeah, one of them is probably going to be like a silly strategy game or something, and the other one's going to be like a, there'll be a mobile game and there'll be a PC like console game, I would imagine.
And John Carpenter's heading the project? Sorry, Marvin.
Yeah, he's intimately involved is what the quote is, and they're using the Unreal Engine 5, so it's still early development. But yeah, the new Unreal Engine, they're going to make a Halloween game, and John Carpenter's involved, so I thought you might want to.
Well, that's exciting. Yeah. What were you going to say, Marvin?
I was reading that he's involved in one of them,
yeah,
but not both. Hopefully he's not involved in the mobile shitty version of the game.
Yeah. Well, they're tight-lipped. We don't even know what the two games are, but I would just assume that one is going to be like what's that horror game that we
Dead by Daylight?
It's like a Dead by Daylight style, or
I was just
Jason
gonna say
game or something.
I was just gonna say I hope it's not like.
I'd rather it be like that game Visage that came out a few years back.
That game was great.
Some kind of like, I don't know, like you're kind of just playing in the world.
Yeah, just a moody survival
Halloween
horror.
Yeah, or it doesn't even have to be Halloween related, or just some Halloween adjacent.
It will be if Michael Myers is in it. Yeah, I mean, but I could easily see like a survival horror game with him in a game like that, where like you're just in a fucking house or some shit, and you got to like evade him or do whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a lot of games like that. Like Outlast was one of them. That was a cool game that like kind of flipped the genre on its fucking back a little bit, where it's like, hey, you don't do anything. You just run away and hide.
Yeah.
And it's great, and it's tense, and it's scary. So I could see something like that. That's cool that he's involved, though. He is an avid gamer.
Hope he does a soundtrack, of course.
Oh, yeah. That's yeah.
I ordered a vinyl of his latest record. I haven't opened it up yet. I heard the digital. I listened to the digital album a couple times, but I have not put the vinyl on the needle yet.
I have all his. I have I don't have records of them, but I have like his other albums. They're very good. Matter of fact, our theme song to the podcast intro is one of my favorite tracks of his. It's from Escape from New York. It's called Romero and the President. Great song.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I shouldn't have said that. Maybe we're gonna get sued now. But anyhow, yeah, no, that's cool. Did you guys watch the clip that I sent you of what's her name getting her like fake doctorate or whatever?
No.
Really?
I haven't really watched anything.
Oh.
I watched a little bit of Cape Crusader this last couple weeks. As soon as I got here and I was unpacking the stuff, I put it on the background. But that's the only thing that
I sent you guys a clip.
Oh, I did see. Yeah, I saw that.
Jamie Lee Curtis got awarded like one of those like, when they do like honorary doctorates and stuff. Yeah, she got one. And I guess John Carpenter was invited to present it to her. And surprisingly, he showed up because he very rarely shows up for stuff like this. And it was very tear-jerking for me. And she, because she always credits John Carpenter with giving her a career. Because Halloween was her first role, or one of her first roles. And so she turned around and she says, I owe my whole life to you, like everything. And it was very, very, not sad. Sad's the wrong word, but, gets the waterworks going a little bit. Here are these two people who are pretty much like both giants of the industry. Despite Carpenter not being involved in it for many, many years, he's still considered, one of the best filmmakers ever, probably in his little corner of the world. But like
he's up there.
They, just that's one of the reasons why I love Halloween so much. It's not just the content of the film, it's the fact that it's just like a group of kids who got together and made a movie in like a couple weeks for like little to no money, and it went on to become like a game changer in the genre. Think about how much fun that would be, like, right? It's just getting together with your friends and fucking smoking cigarettes and drinking and making a movie. So that's one of the reasons why I love that movie so much. But that was cool. So you said you haven't watched anything really, either of you. I'm the opposite. You guys, the last couple weeks, I'd been on a fucking not watching spree. No, prior to these last couple weeks, I wasn't watching anything. I was so behind on shows. I was getting anxiety. But that changed these past 2 weeks. I've had COVID. I'm still a little sick because I can't be sick for less than 3 weeks, apparently, ever. But yeah, I went on a fucking binge, a spree of watching stuff. And I've watched 9.5 shows in the last 2 weeks. I've watched, okay, I'm gonna break it down for you. I've watched Presumed Innocent, which I think, Marvin, you watched that, right? You were talking about it.
Presumed Innocent. I watched Is that Apple?
Yep, on Apple. Jake Gyllenhaal. Yeah. One of you mentioned it.
No, I haven't seen that.
Yep.
Miniseries, crime drama. Very, very good. Based off of a book that there was a movie also about the book with Harrison Ford. Was it Harrison Ford? No. It's a movie. That's a Dusty movie for sure. Dusty would have seen that. Yeah, Harrison Ford. I was right. In 1990. Just based off the same book. But it was very good. Enjoyed it quite a bit. It's like right in my wheelhouse. Like whodunit, sort of, but with like some legal proceedings. So that was nice. I enjoyed that. Then I watched Sugar, which is another Apple show with our boy, Colin Farrell.
The Penguin, yeah.
Very, very good show. If you like, especially...
I got that in my library to watch for later.
Especially, Marvin, you might enjoy this now because we got you to watch Chinatown. This is literally like in the style of like that hard-boiled like detective noir style, to the point where he like narrates to himself and stuff. It's very, very good. And
when does it take place?
Modern day. So it's like modern day, but with like that type of appeal.
Noir detective.
Yeah.
All right.
He doesn't really say like old school like words and stuff like hey doll or anything like that. And he doesn't smack the shit out of any femme fatale in it. But he does, there is like that noir feel, the music. He narrates to himself, like he has that inner monologue. That's a big part of like detective stuff from that time. And it has a little bit of a twist to it, which I won't say, but it was really good. I enjoyed that quite a bit.
Nice. I added to my list. So, no, go ahead. No, nothing.
Whoa.
It's nothing.
I want to hear it now.
It's completely random and off topic.
Okay, we'll wait. But keep it in your head because now I'm curious. But in the midst of watching this stuff, we always like hype up Apple TV because they literally don't have anything bad that they've put out. Unfortunately, I think it was like a week or two ago, they announced that they're scaling back their production.
That's right.
The greatest network nobody watches.
Yeah. They're just like pumping out money.
Bangers.
Severance is probably, unfortunately, going to be like the last thing, the last big thing that we see from them. I don't think they're going to stop production, but they're going to stop at least what they're currently doing. They spend a lot of money. The morning
shows, they get a lot of money and ratings on the morning show too. That's a good one.
Yeah.
And what's the one with Harrison Ford that they did?
The therapy one.
The therapy one. That's another great one. Yeah.
Season 2's coming with that too. So I think, they're going to scale back, which is unfortunate because it literally is the best streaming service in terms of just like quality stuff. I don't think I've seen a bad thing on Apple.
Just because they scale back doesn't mean we don't get the good stuff.
Yeah. I think, though, part of scaling back is also reducing the amount of production, how much money they spend on production. Because, their shows are very expensive. Fair. And with these streaming services, they're just, other than Netflix, there just isn't like I guess, there isn't like a tangible connection between how much they spend and how much subscribers they have. In fact, there's like probably no connection between that.
Right.
Netflix, I think, probably benefits from the fact that it's a legacy product, like it's been around for a very long time, and also it has licensed stuff. Like Netflix is carried by their licensed stuff.
For sure.
But yeah, so that sucks. So then I watched Gen V, which is a spin-off of The Boys.
Spin-off, yeah.
Have you guys watched it?
How was it? No.
No, I haven't even watched.
I still haven't watched the new season. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm right there.
I started the new season. I've been watching it with Ed. Shout out. About 2 episodes deep on The Boys. So I've been telling you guys, I kind of, The Boys shtick kind of wore thin on me last season. I'm just like, a little over it. I gotta say, Gen V sparked it invigorated my interest in the universe. It was pretty good. I enjoyed it.
It's supposed to be a pretty good spinoff. Yeah.
It's about a college that's run by the company from The Boys. Was it Vought or whatever? Yeah. And it's a school for kids who were given Compound V, and like they all have powers and stuff. But it's got a lot of stuff that you could expect from, The Boys universe, and
so it's basically an adult version of Wendy.
Wendy? What was Wendy?
Yeah.
You mean Wednesday?
Wednesday, yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, it's an adult version of Wednesday. Actually, yeah, that's a good comparison. So yeah, I watched that. Very good. Then I watched Fallout. Finally. Have either of you watched it? I know Marvin
still
watched
got
it.
That on the.
Yep,
I got it on the list.
Fallout was great.
I'm way behind.
Yeah, I haven't started Shogun yet. Did you like Fallout, Marvin?
It was great. I loved it. Yeah,
it was definitely better than I expected it to be.
It's Walton Goggins.
Yeah, he's fucking great in it. She's great in it too. Our girl from Yellow Jackets. She's the one that died in season 1. Marvin, Dusty, she froze to death. Sorry, spoilers. But the cast was really good. I mostly liked it. I thought it sort of fell off towards the end. I thought like by the end, because here's what bothers me. I'm not a huge Fallout guy. I've only played Fallout 4 and I didn't enjoy the game that much. Apparently Bethesda.
I was gifted the game and I never played it.
It's not a bad game. It's just I played that off the back of The Witcher 3, so like, it's different.
Yeah, I played Vegas, but I didn't play 4.
From what I've heard, Fallout New Vegas is like everybody's favorite game. So I don't argue the fact that Fallout games are great. But Bethesda said that the show is canon, and the show sort of reveals a big thing about the games, like who dropped the nuke, right, by the end. Which,
it's huge.
I think that's a little bit. I don't know. I don't know if I'm a fan of that, because that's always been like the cool part of Fallout is that like it doesn't matter who dropped the. You know what I mean? It's just this is the world, and like that stuff is sort of secondary, kinda. I don't know. I liked it. I thought the last episode was a little bit not great, but otherwise I thought that was great. I enjoyed it quite a bit. It was better than I expected. Then I watched The Gentleman finally, which was excellent.
The movie or the show?
The show. I've seen the movie when it came out.
Oh,
you watched the show, or you didn't watch the show?
I've not seen the show yet. No.
The show was very good. In fact, Marvin,
good.
I think I told Marvin last time we recorded that you had a bad intro to Guy Ritchie.
Yeah.
You should watch this show, because the show is like good Guy Ritchie. It's like
we're redoing the Make Marvin watch because
we have to redo it
last time.
But this is like all the things that you love about Guy Ritchie. Like it's funny. It's got some fucking like little bit of violence in it. The story's good. The characters are good. It was really good. I enjoyed it quite a bit. It's basically like a quirky comedy British version of Breaking Bad is the best way I could describe it.
I rewatched the movie the other day before I moved out here. It was pretty good.
Oh, the movie's awesome.
Yeah.
So that was that.
Is the movie related to the show, or is it two completely different things?
It's just based off
of
the same name.
Similar premise of sorts. Still about pot empires.
Yeah, I guess that's the like the connecting thread is that's what it's just about, like a drug thing.
Yeah. Pot empire in Europe.
I don't remember what the movie was about. Like what was the plot specifically? Do you remember? Well, you just watched it. So.
Yeah. So what's his name? Dude from Sons of Anarchy.
Charlie Hunnam.
Yeah, Charlie Hunnam. He has a pot empire,
right?
And he pays the rich aristocrats money to use their land and he has underground pot shops, and he gets robbed, and he's trying to figure out who, while he's trying to get out of the, oh no, this is Matthew McConaughey. Matthew McConaughey is trying to get out of the business and sell it all. But yeah.
Okay, so then it actually might be related.
Yeah, because from my understanding, it's one of the aristocrat's sons who, right? That's what the show's about. It's like one of the properties.
Well, okay, so yes, that in that way it's connected. I don't know if there is any like specific character connections though.
Yeah, I don't know if there's a family name mentioned that links the two between the movie and the show.
I don't think there is.
That's the gist of it. Like, yeah, he uses the aristocrats like rich land because the governments don't fuck with it, and he grows pot underground.
And so what this show is there's a guy, Eddie, he's the main character. He works for like the British military or some shit, and he gets a call that his dad, who's a duke, passed away. He goes home. He finds out that he inherited everything instead of his older brother.
And the land is being leased for pot.
And on his land is an underground like pot growery. Yeah. So it's probably just one. It's like a loose connection, I guess.
Yeah, because I don't remember how many locations he has in the movie, but he has several.
So yeah, so that was good. I really enjoyed that. I would watch that, Marvin, if I were you. It's short. It's easy to watch. I think it's funny. It's got all the things that I like about Guy Ritchie. So
all right.
That was a good one. Then I watched a miniseries called Under the Bridge, which I had on my list because you know me, I love some fucking murder. I love some murder mysteries. I don't love murder. I love murder mysteries. This is a Hulu one, and it was very, very good. Lily Gladstone is in it. And
she's good.
Yeah. And this is based on a true story. It was actually very, very sad. Oh my God. Apparently in the 90s in Canada, a young girl was murdered by 7 of her friends. And this show is based off of a book that is about the real murder. And I think the real murder like went on, it became it became like a national thing about like bullying and like all this stuff in Canada. But yeah, this was really good. If you like a good mystery drama.
Under the Bridge.
That was good. Then
what network was that from?
That was Hulu.
Hulu.
Yeah, then I got into some Netflix stuff, some real crime, true crime stuff. Catching Killers is a show that I love. Netflix does. They have a bunch of seasons, and it's just basically like these famous cases of all sorts, and it's just like a docuseries about those things. This season was one was about this like vagrant migrant serial killer who was riding train cars, and he was like hopping off and killing people in their homes like close to the railroad. There was one about one was about the DC sniper that happened back in the early 2000s. I don't know if you guys, Dusty, I'm sure does that. Yeah. There was one about that. There was one about some fucking bomber guy who bombed like the Olympics in Georgia, I think it was in the 90s, maybe. And then there was one about...
There's a movie about that. I forget what it's called. It's a pretty good movie. Yeah, I remember that.
I'm not familiar with the movie. There was another one about like the New York Zoo. Apparently New York had a copycat Zodiac killer in like the 90s, which I didn't know about. So that was cool. But yeah, that's a good show. Always good. Then I watched Unsolved Mysteries, the new season. Love that show. Love me some Unsolved.
Good luck sleeping. Don't believe in ghosts, but you can't.
Well, listen, I was going to say.
Ignore the psychopaths of the world.
Unsolved Mysteries, I don't think there's a thing in my life, and a lot of people my age. See, I don't know where you fall on this, Marvin, because you're like a little younger than me, but you're also kind of in the age. Did you watch the original Unsolved Mysteries series with Robert Stack as the host? I know Dusty has.
Mm-hmm.
Robert Stack at Unsolved Mysteries is responsible for a lot of people my age, and is responsible for like our like deep-rooted fear and anxiety. Yeah. I used to watch that shit with my grandmother. Original. Oh my God. Between the music and his voice of just like, on the evening of August 28th, 1978, Rosemary went out for breakfast and never came home. And it's just like,
yeah.
And I was on the couch like a little fucking kid. My mom was like out partying with her friends or some shit. And I was like, she's never coming home.
Yeah.
Fucking crazy. But yeah, they revived the show like a couple years ago. And it's been pretty good. I enjoy it.
That made me think of I feel like I used to watch this like America's Most Wanted show or something.
Yeah, America's Most Wanted was similar.
Yeah.
America's Most Wanted was actually responsible for a lot of captures. They solved a lot of cases from America's Most Wanted, yeah.
Yep.
And I think Unsolved Mysteries too.
Yeah.
But Unsolved Mysteries is mostly like cold cases.
They both had hotlines though.
Yeah.
Yeah. I always enjoyed those shows like Almost Got Away with It, like that type of shit. Like where they rob a bank and like, you know.
I love me some true
crime. Then they like go to jail and then they get out and tell their story. It's pretty good.
Some of the cases are creepy though, man. Like this season of Unsolved. So the first episode dealt with the Jack the Ripper, who murdered in England famously in the late 1800s. And it's a cold case. Like it was never solved. So it like has every right to be on the show. And it's interesting actually seeing like police work back then and like how they went about their investigations and stuff. So that of course was never solved. Then there was an episode really creepy. Some fucking woman, she was found dead in her basement. Blood fucking everywhere, all over the walls, puddle on the floor. And forensics found nothing. No sign of another person, no DNA from anybody else. There were footprints in the blood that were hers. And there was just it was just a complete mystery of how she got head trauma and ended up in the basement. And there's some other stuff to it, but it was just really bizarre, some of these cases. And my only gripe with Unsolved Mysteries is every now and then they throw in like a paranormal thing. Like last season was this thing about some woman who's like a psychic and she solves a case because of ghosts or some shit. And like this season dealt with the Mothman and I'm just like, eh. There was like a UFO one last season. So that shit kind of I hate, but whatever. Good show.
Yeah.
So I watched that. And then finally I finished the finale, the last season of Umbrella Academy, which is now on Netflix.
Nice.
Oh.
It's a shortened season. It's only 6 episodes. I've always enjoyed Umbrella Academy. I've never read the comic book. From what I understand, fans of the comic book like really don't like the show. So I can't speak to that. But I think that the last season, it was good. Fell off a little bit, but you know, is what it is. Decent finale.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
So I watched, and now, like I said, I'm
That's a lot of stuff.
2 episodes into The Boys. Yeah. Oh, I've been fucking grinding. And I'm not done. I got a lot of shit I backed up on. I got to finish. I'm going through my list. Sometimes like, it's like I collect stuff to watch. It's weird. And I never get to them. Do you guys do that?
Oh, yeah. I love putting stuff on my watch list that I know I'm never probably going to watch.
Yeah, it's actually crazy. It's crazy. So
like one of my favorite pastimes, actually.
So I'm trying to get through my shit. But
you gonna watch Silo?
I'm gonna watch Silo. Yep, I'm gonna watch Silo. I'm gonna watch the other show that you recommended too a while back. What was it, From?
For All Mankind.
No. I recommended that to you, and then you ended up just watching it, and I didn't. No, I think it was.
You said From? I didn't watch
Jewell.
From.
Huh?
Richard Jewell is the movie, Dan. It's 2019. It's about the guy who, with the bomb threat for the 1996 Atlanta.
Yeah.
Paul Walter Hauser is Richard Jewell. Sam Rockwell plays his attorney, and John Hamm and a couple other big names. Olivia Wilde's in it.
Okay.
It's a really good movie. Recommend it. What is it?
Oh, the bomb, the Atlanta.
It's a 7.5 on IMDb. Yeah.
Called
Richard Jewell.
Add it to the list.
Yeah.
Add it to the list.
So you said you didn't watch From, Marvin?
No, that one's.
I thought you did.
Similar to
Silo.
No.
Silo and From came out at the same time. Maybe that's why I'm confused.
From is like completely different, I believe. It's like.
It's different. It's about a town that like is doing weird shit's happening.
Traps people.
Yeah.
No, I heard it was pretty good though.
Yeah, I think my aunt watched it maybe, and I'm confusing it. I know they came out around the same time, but yeah, my list is.
My cousin Vince did watch it and said it was good.
Did he?
Yeah.
I don't know if I trust Vince, but I trust him.
Oh.
I trust Vince. No, I'm kidding. I love me some Vince. We should get Vince on the podcast. Would he come on, or would he be shy?
No, he'd come on.
He'd be hilarious.
Yeah, he'd come on.
He'd come on for sure.
Yeah. All right. So that's what I've been up to. So you guys haven't watched anything. I'm just the watcher here.
Well, I mean, like I said, I watched Cape Crusader.
Oh, how was
we were talking about that. You go ahead, Marvin.
I finished House of the Dragon season 2.
Was it good?
Which I'm sure everyone else has.
Well, so episode 8 was the last one.
Yeah. What did you think of that finale?
Eight episodes. I'm telling you, man. I hate that they're doing this, like 8-episode seasons.
In this case, I agree. 8 wasn't enough. They just left us on a crazy. Yep. It was just a big setup for the next season, basically.
Mm-hmm.
There was that one episode though that was really good with the the big fight with all the dragons fighting. That was my favorite. I'm pretty sure that was everyone's favorite episode. That was an amazing episode. It was a good one. It actually made me. I'm listening to the Game of Thrones, the first audiobook. The audiobook.
Oh, okay, the book. Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yep.
Nice.
Right on.
It sucks we gotta wait 2 years though. That's really tragic.
Is that just the production time or what?
I don't know. I guess so.
Yeah. They get a lot of stuff going on. I don't think that's the only spinoff they're working on either, but I'm sure they're keeping the show.
That's true.
And stuff, but I don't know.
How is Cape Crusader?
It's good. So we were talking about this. You got confused, I think, when we talked about it because you thought there was going to be Batman the animated series coming back.
No. I thought there was a spiritual successor to animated series.
This basically what this is.
Yeah, but I thought because this is the one that what's his name, Matt, fucking whatever his name is Matt Reeves.
Matt Reeves
is involved in with the guy with Bruce Timm. Yeah. I thought they each were doing their own separate things. I didn't realize it.
So they asked Bruce Timm. I think he was talking with a rap. They said, hey, how would you feel about going back and making some more Batman the Animated Series episodes? And I'm like, nah, we've been there. We've done that. I wasn't interested in just revisiting that world. And so they did the Caped Crusader, which is an honest homage. It does. It tells a lot of the same stories. It tells them a little bit differently. There's the biggest change, I guess, is Minnie Driver
is female penguin.
Oswald Cobblepot.
Oh man, I saw some of the usual suspects bitching about that.
It reminded me of what's her name, the lady from Goonies. Like she's just the mom and the sons are scared of her. She's like, I'll kill you guys for fucking turning your back on me. It's like it was a little unoriginal. It didn't bring anything to it. It was unnecessary. Like I get why they did it to just bring something different, but it didn't really. So but the show's good. I'm enjoying it. Like they're 20, 25-minute episodes. It's really good. So I'm a couple episodes. I think I'm half 6 or so.
Oh, you know what I did start cartoon-wise? I started My Adventures with Superman because I heard it was good.
Oh yeah, you told me I need to watch that, right? The anime one? Is that the one?
Yeah. It's pretty good actually. I'm enjoying it. It's definitely made for kids. It's definitely heavily geared towards kids, maybe like preteens. But if you're a fan of Superman, it hits the right buttons.
Nice.
So that's been good. And I was also told to watch the Cyberpunk anime that had come out that I forgot about. My buddy George told me I should totally watch it. What was it called again?
That shit is fire.
Edge Runners.
Oh, Edge Runners, yeah.
Yeah, I heard it was really good. So I'm going to plan on watching that. I think the next thing I'm going to watch, because I've been watching The Boys with Ed, and Ed has been playing a lot of Diablo, so we don't watch every night. But
Diablo,
hey, he said it got way better. He said it's a whole different game now. I told him about the game you guys been playing, but it's not on console, unfortunately.
Yeah, not yet.
I might get Diablo to play with them. I don't know. We'll see. You be mad at me. Yeah, I know you guys.
Yes, I'm done with this podcast.
No, so I think while I'm watching The Boys, I've just been running some other stuff on the side. So I think the next thing I'm gonna start is either Shogun or Silo.
Both good.
Yeah.
Both easy watches.
Both, yeah.
Honestly. I watched Silo in a couple days. And
Isaac Asimov's show was,
that was weekly.
The Foundation. That's a good one too. I think that's Apple TV.
I gotta watch. I also gotta watch Rings of Power. That's another one that I've been kind of sleeping on. But yeah, so that's been my 2 weeks.
Nice.
I did start Horizon. Kevin Costner's movie. It's 3 hours long.
I watched it.
Was it good?
You watched it?
Yeah, I mean, I understand why people are saying it feels like a Zack Snyder build up to the next movie. It's good though, but it's long.
Good old Zack.
3 hours.
Love hearing that name.
3-hour Western epic. So I guess my take on the whole thing, I was talking to my brother about this because he loved it, and we both like Western sagas. You have to do a lot to top Lonesome Dove, which is the best Western saga ever told on cinema. So he's not there, but it's good. It's a good Western, but it's not I'm not, wow,
Lonesome
this is amazing.
Dove.
Just
Would you say that it's a good reason to have quit
2014.
and ruined Yellowstone?
Negative.
I mean, he's making more money off of it, so financially.
Is he? No,
yeah.
He didn't make a lot from this though. He had to put up like what was it, like 28 million or 30 something million of his own money, and then it in turn ended up not making a lot in theaters, right?
I don't know.
Is it?
I thought that was it a release in theater? I guess it was. Yeah.
Is it like MAGA adjacent, or am I making that up?
No, it's like the 1800s, bro.
Oh, okay. Because it was being promoted by I think it was being promoted by like fucking weird, fucking MAGA people. I think I don't know why. Maybe I'm thinking of something else.
I don't know.
Maybe. No, it's like 1800s. It's nothing like.
Okay. You know, it's a really great Western. Not a straight up Western, but Preacher. Have you watched Preacher, Dusty? I don't think you did.
Preacher's great.
Preacher was so fucking good.
The AMC show Preacher?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Based
That's
off
a
a comic
Western?
book. Well, yeah, technically.
It's kind
not
of a spaghetti Western.
Yeah,
of sorts,
it's not a
but
Western
sure.
like you think. Like when you think of Western,
Spaghetti Western.
this isn't it. Yeah. But it's great. I love that show.
Preacher. Oh, yeah. There we go.
Yeah, I love that guy. He's a great actor.
Well, I've added about 15 things to my list just in this call,
Nice,
so that's cool.
Watch Preacher, Marvin. You'll like Preacher. Preacher's really fucking good.
You said that about the other 8 things.
But here's the thing about Preacher. Preacher is, I would argue, maybe other people wouldn't, one of the best comic book adaptations I think I've ever seen. Very,
really?
very good. Yeah.
You still haven't watched Noah Hawley's.
I know.
What is
Legion. Dusty's obsessed with Legion.
He is obsessed. He always bring it up.
This is Preacher was a comic book by Garth Ennis. Garth Ennis he also did The Boys, so that should give you an idea of sort of how
it's dark and gritty.
It's dark and gritty and violent.
Legion. Oh, this is a movie, not the movie Legion, right?
No.
I remember this movie.
No. Yeah, the show. The show was on FX. It's
Oh, I see.
So speaking of Garth
3
Ennis,
seasons.
let's get into the news. There's a lot of stuff we missed. Dusty missed our news guy. Our fucking news guy.
It's not even my listening.
Missed Comic-Con, and he missed fucking D23. Oh no, we missed D23.
No,
but
we missed.
Talking about Garth Ennis, could we just jumping into the news? Did you guys see? I tried to post them as much as I could, but they got taken down very quickly. Did you guys see the trailers that they showed at D23?
I missed them.
Oh,
I missed
If they're
them.
not posting them on the internet, I'm not really watching them.
Daredevil Born Again looks so fucking good. It looks grittier than the Netflix series, which is shocking.
I did read like a thing, a title about that.
Yeah.
Is it like TVMA
Vincent
that it's rated
said,
or whatever?
I don't know what it's rated, but Vincent D'Onofrio said that there's a scene with him that he was shocked that they
I'm
did
surprised it got made the cut. Yeah, he's like, it goes harder than the Netflix show.
That's
In
great.
some aspects.
But the reason I said, speaking of Garth Ennis famously worked on Punisher. He is gonna be in the series, and he's in the trailer briefly. And oh god, it got me hard, baby. I love me some Punisher. I'm so excited for this. I think it's gonna be really good. I think we might be seeing Marvel coming back, baby. I don't want to get too excited
Already?
Well,
you just said, is Marvel dead or something? I just made a short out of it or something.
I did say that, but I said it for a specific reason. You'll have to remind me. If you want to add something else to your list, Marvin, by the way, I know you've been getting because I know you've been getting into comic book stuff recently.
Oh, yeah.
Read Garth Ennis' Punisher run. Punisher Max. Ooh, baby.
Punisher Max.
Actually, if you're going to read Punisher, you should read Born. Born is great. Anyhow, or Daredevil vs. Punisher. Daredevil vs. Punisher is one of the best comic book series of all time. Dusty could tell me. Dusty could agree with me. So, okay. What did I say? Why did I say Marvel was dead?
Because you said, I can't remember it.
Is it when you guys were talking about Deadpool?
Yeah, it was.
Have you watched that yet, Marvin?
No, I haven't.
No? Okay.
I
went to see it this week.
I mean, you guys can talk about it.
Yeah, all right, let's fucking talk about it. Let's talk about it. No, well, I want to do a more comprehensive conversation. I was kind of waiting. All right, Deadpool and Wolverine. What'd you think? Did you like it? I thought it was great.
I agree with most of your assertions. It's a great, fun movie. The story is terrible.
Yeah, the story wasn't really great. But you're not going to see that to watch like a good story. That's the thing.
Yeah, no, there's plot holes and it's ridiculous and it doesn't make any sense sometimes. But the whole movie was fun and hilarious. And I actually got that take from a few other people I've talked to since I've seen it.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, I loved it. It was great fun, but the story was kind of dumb. I was like, yeah. And maybe that's what we were talking about where Marvel is dead is because they're just not making good stories anymore.
I think I said is Marvel dead because of Robert Downey Jr. being announced as Dr. Doom.
Oh my God. Yeah, infamous Iron Man would have been a better way to go. This is a different, they're like, Dr. Doom goes and he's like college roommates with Tony Stark and they swap brains and stuff. It's an interesting story, but infamous Iron Man is way better. Would have been a good one.
I assume what they're doing is this is just a Tony Stark variant who didn't become Iron Man. I don't know if I guess you watched parts of the podcast. Is that what you missed?
I did watch the last episode, yeah.
Okay, because I said like there are definitely moments in the MCU where Tony could easily go a different path. You know what I mean? So within the multiverse saga that they're doing, this totally makes sense, and I understand that it could be cool to see the guy who started the MCU save the universe, like literally, by sacrificing himself, now being the villain. I could see how that's compelling. However, why I said is Marvel dead, that's not why they hired him to do this. They did it because it's like a rescue mission.
It's a shift because they had the strike, they had COVID, and then they had the Kang issues with the sexual assault of his girlfriend.
Yep.
And so the big bad wasn't the big bad anymore. It's like, how do you introduce a big bad, write in a big bad, but it not actually be the big bad because you haven't cast the big bad? It's like, hey, we could swap him when RDJ can play him. Like,
what?
So I mean, it feels like a grab. It feels, I don't know. I'll wait and see. I'll give it the benefit of the doubt. But since the end of phase 3 or 4, what's phase 3?
Since Endgame, it's been
downhill. It's been bad
for sure.
Yeah. And it's
Chasing
called
the Dragon.
McGregor Saga. No, it's called McGregor the Snowy River Saga. Yes, I have seen it. That was what Hugh Jackman starred in. It's based on the
we
River
talked about
movie.
the Snowy
That's
River
right.
thing,
Yes, McGregor the Snowy River Saga. I've seen like the first 2 seasons. I don't think I've seen all of them. There's like 5 of them, but
But yeah, that was my main point of why they didn't get him to play Dr. Doom because of some like creative thing that I just said. Like, oh man, it'd be really compelling to see the hero become the. It's because
it was a save.
Hey, we're desperate. We need to fucking revive this shit. Bring back the Star. Bring back the fucking Russo brothers. Bring back fucking Marcus and McFeely. Like, we need them. We're desperate.
And Cookie Cutter
yeah.
They approached him and they read a scene. RDJ and Favreau Happy as Iron Man and Happy for Deadpool and Wolverine, but they scrapped it after the Doom casting because they didn't want to confuse people.
Which means they either did a reshoot at last minute on Deadpool, or this Robert Downey Jr. casting was fucking happened a year ago.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure they knew.
But there's been a lot of rumors.
All they said was like they read. They didn't shoot it. They just read lines.
So. Oh, that's true. Yeah, you're right. There's been a lot of rumors swirling though since apparently Robert Downey Jr. only agreed to come back if the Russos came back to film the movie. Apparently, they were gonna get rid of what's his name as Kang, like before his allegations came out, because of the performance of Quantumania, which is a little ridiculous. That movie was not his fault. He was okay in it. So I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
But I did get very excited watching these 3 trailers that I saw leaked. Daredevil looks fucking great. It looks like what you'd want from Daredevil. There was a Fantastic Four. It wasn't really a trailer for the movie. It was more of like an introduction to the characters, which was kind of neat. Another desperation, I think, casting. Not desperation, but just cheap casting. I don't think Pedro is... I think he's going to be good. He's a good actor. I don't think he's the best person to play Reed Richards, personally. I think that was just like, hey, this is the hot actor right now. Let's hire him.
He's lazy.
Yeah, lazy, for sure, which we talked about. But listen, movie looks good. It's checking all the boxes. They look good as the characters. It's like an alternate timeline, 1960s, which I
thought that was cool. You told me about that.
Yeah, it's what they have to do. They can't just introduce them into the MCU and be like, hey, the Fantastic Four have existed this whole time, but we never told you.
They just run around.
Yeah.
Here's mutants from the 60s that never existed past that point.
Right. So it's now becoming more clear to me that this will, in fact, as we have speculated, this will culminate with Secret Wars, and Secret Wars will, in fact, bring all the characters into the sacred timeline or whatever, Earth.
But when you say all, do
616.
you actually mean all, or do you mean all the ones that are live from the previous MCU?
Well, that's an interesting question, and I was going to bring it up because you have an interesting take that I don't agree with, is that you think they should just reboot the shit and recast.
They're going to reboot everything, and they're going to bring everybody's going to be back. Everybody's going to be new characters. There's going to be a new Tony Stark. There's going to be a new Steve Rogers.
No, God,
There's going to be
please. I don't think that I agree with you of why that you would want that to happen. Totally. Like, how are you going to have all the heroes, all the X-Men, like, not interacting with Captain America? Like, that's the shit that people have wanted to see for all these years, for sure.
Yes.
I don't think they have
Avengers versus X-Men is a great storyline.
Listen, I know what you're saying, but you have to acknowledge the fact that it's not just an easy snap decision to do that, because those actors, Robert Downey Jr., Chris Evans, like, they are some big shoes to fill.
Yeah.
Will audiences be accepting of new actors in those roles? Maybe, maybe not.
As long as they're not black, I'm sure it's fine.
Yeah. I don't know that they have the balls to do that type of reboot just yet. Is it probably going to come eventually? 100%. They have no choice.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it's going to be this soon. But I do think...
and I kind of agree with you.
Crazy. That would be ballsy.
It would be ballsy. But I just think Secret Wars is going to be like, hey, guys, all these characters that we now own are back in the Earth 616.
But they have to be back for Secret Wars, right?
They're rebooting things a decade later.
Those guys are going to come...
We're well past a decade.
Yeah, I know. No, those things... Yeah, Marvin, those like, for sure, Chris Evans is going to be in... Like, as Cap.
But just because they come back for Secret Wars doesn't mean they're...
Shout out Johnny Storm.
Secret Wars, Marvin, and there's been 2 Secret Wars. And
Johnny Blaze.
I think the one, Johnny Storm, Johnny Blaze is Ghost Rider.
Oh, that's right.
I think
I did have it right.
I think the Secret Wars that they are adapting is not the original Secret Wars. The original Secret Wars is this multiversal character named the Beyonder. He creates this place called Battle World, and he's like fascinated with Earth's heroes, and he brings all like the main timeline heroes to Battle World and has them like fight against like all other heroes from other universes. And it ends in a reboot of like the actual comic books. Like they used it as like a reboot. The second Secret Wars, I'm not as familiar with, but I do believe it was Doctor Doom who perpetrated it, which makes sense as to why they're now bringing in Doom and whatever, you know?
Yeah. Well, if they've done all these reboots and whatnot in comics, why can't they just do them in the movies? Why would fans take it any differently or not be accepting of it?
That's the thing, is that, okay, but see, here's the thing, right? Is Dusty and myself and Ed and people who grew up with comic books, we are just trained to accept that this is how comic books work. People don't die, characters come back, they're rebooted, like it happens all the time.
Yeah.
Totally more accepting of it. I'm a little bit more of the camp of like, well, this is not the comic books. They've made the distinction that this is the Marvel Cinematic Universe. We're adapting stories from the comics. That does not mean we're doing like direct one-to-one recreations. So I have a foot in both camps where I could easily see like I personally I don't
shout out to the Netflix Witcher universe.
I think
it's an adaptation.
Yeah, a bad one. I think that I don't want to see another person play Tony Stark. That's just me. This soon anyway. Maybe when I'm 60, sure. But this soon I don't think so. I think that with the X-Men and like with Fantastic Four and some other IPs, they have plenty of stories to tell that won't require Cap or Iron Man or any of these guys. We'll see. I don't know. But yeah, so the Daredevil trailer got me kind of hyped. Then they showed the Fantastic Four thing, was cool, weird. I don't know why they decided to fucking introduce Galactus in their first outing. He's to me like a fucking Thanos level villain. Like, so I don't know. I'm a little bit tepid on what they're doing with that. Man. I don't know what they're doing with that. To be honest, I kind of don't know. And then surprisingly, well, they showed a trailer for Ironheart, which I previously did not give a fuck about. Surprisingly, looks fucking good. And it made me interested in watching that show. So that was cool.
Hopefully they've been sitting on it for years.
It looks good. Honestly.
Should have been released by now.
It looks fun. It looks good. She seems like an interesting character. Like, I think it's going to be decent. So, yeah, those are the three big trailers that I saw. And there was some other D23 stuff, Toy Story 5 and fucking live action. Skeleton Crew trailer. Did you guys watch that? That looks good, dude.
Yeah.
Did you watch the trailer, Dusty?
Yes, I did.
Some Star Wars fans are bitching. They're like, oh, we're in a fucking space suburbs. It's like, yeah, bro, it's a big fucking galaxy.
Other stuff happens.
Yeah, dude, like it's a big fucking galaxy.
Shocker.
But this looks like a fucking, dude, this looks so good. It actually looks like a Steven Spielberg type of like Goonies meets Star Wars. It looks really good.
Exactly.
I'm fucking hyped for that, actually.
On the other side of sad news, though, no, actually sadder, worse news. Did you guys see the Blade film is reportedly in a limbo state?
Yeah, you posted that. Yep.
Yeah. That's
after the
tragic.
Yeah, Deadpool and Wolverine film and the cameos, Ryan Reynolds wants a Blade 4 with a proper send-off for Wesley. So,
oh shit, yeah, nice. I would love that.
Maybe we'll get a Blade 4.
I don't want to get the hold up with this Blade, this fucking Mahershala Blade.
It's Mahershala.
How hard is it to make Blade?
It's
Black
dude
kills vampires wearing fucking leather.
It's Mahershala, dude. I'm telling you.
It's gotta be.
He's the only common denominator.
Trying to ice skate uphill.
Motherfuckers are still trying to ice skate up. Dude, let me tell you something.
Maybe he's on his high horse. Like he's got like a thing. He's got that Will Smith, or not Will Smith. He's got that rock clause.
Maybe.
Some shit's going on.
Oh, speaking of clauses, that was another rumor that came out about what's his name who played Kang. What the fuck is it? Jonathan Majors. Yeah. Apparently, he had a contract stating that he is the only actor that could play Kang. And that's why they're doing the 180.
Ooh, we talked about that. I'm not sure if it's been confirmed or not, but it is a rumor that's going around. I don't know.
I don't know if there's a lot of rumors going around, but who knows. But let's talk about Deadpool, just a couple minutes. Maybe Marvin can get a nice short out of it or something. Honestly, I enjoyed the movie. I thought it was fun. It was funny. It did all the things you would go to that movie to see, but it was mostly like a nothing burger. I don't really quite like... I don't know. I'm a little torn because it wasn't meant to be. I think a lot of people, maybe I did too. I think a lot of people maybe expected it to be
tie-in,
the entry to the MCU for Deadpool, but it wasn't that. It was more a celebration and paying homage to the comic book movies that came before the MCU.
It was a tip of the nod to Fox and the X-Men movies, for sure.
Because, and in that way, it was nice. Yeah, no, and you would love Deadpool. You would love this movie because it's a nod to those that came before. As a comic book fan, I actually got emotional. I don't know if you did. That little sizzle reel that they played during the credits got me a little bit choked up.
Mm-hmm.
Not because I have any special love for those movies. I mean, I've saw them and like they were in my younger years, so there was a little bit of nostalgia.
It was a nice surprise to see that, yeah.
But what I thought was really nice was like, and people don't necessarily think of this, like, as comic book fans, we had fucking really like, we like there were slim pickings before the MCU in terms of comic book movies. You were lucky if you got a comic book movie, first off. And we were fucking even luckier. It was a miracle if you got a good comic book movie. Movies like Blade 1 and 2 that were fucking actually good comic book movies, or Constantine, or some of these fucking like X-Men First Class, X-Men.
Yeah, but those were the early comic book movies.
That's
and those
what
were
I'm
the
saying.
best ones. And then they kind of...
But that's what I'm saying. Before the MCU, pickings were slim. That's what we had. These movies were fucking... We're like holding up the fucking our fucking hopes and dreams of comic book fans seeing our favorite characters on the big screen.
Before. Like Dark Man was one of the
Spawn, like that fucking movie. Oh my god,
Dark Man, Spawn. Then we have Batman and Blade,
the Ben Affleck
Spider-Man.
Daredevil, Halle Berry Catwoman movie. Like
get that shit out of here.
Like outside of Tim Burton's Batman, and you know the Donner Superman movies. There wasn't much. And when you did get a comic book movie every now and then, they were fucking bad. Most of these movies that these characters are from were bad. Blade 3 was bad. The Elektra movie was horrendous. The Ben Affleck Daredevil
David
movie?
Hasselhoff Nick Fury movie.
Oh my God, yeah. So like that's all we had back then. And I thought it was really nice that they decided to just pay homage and say like, hey, thank you. And it was also extra nice because Kevin Feige has been with Marvel Entertainment this whole time. He worked on the original X-Men movies. He was there in the background, like it's like slowly but surely in the writer's room, and then became a producer and this, and he climbed the ranks, and then he created literally the most successful movie franchise of all time, and is arguably, not arguably, I think monetarily, he is the most successful movie producer of all time, thanks to the MCU. And now we're eating good, right, with all this shit. But that didn't exist back then, and these movies sort of carried it for a while, and I thought it was nice for them to pay tribute to those things, despite not always being the best. It was nice to give fucking, you know, what's his name, his little time in the spotlight to play a character that he loved in Gambit, Channing Tatum, you know? That was cool. But I gotta tell you, in the theater, my theater was fucking boring, because there were some moments in the movie that you know that they wrote for audience reactions that my fucking theater just did not react to. Even my buddy George was sitting next to me. When Wesley Snipes said motherfuckers are still trying to ice skate uphill, I fucking snapped. I was like, yeah! And my buddy George was like, what? Like, what's so exciting? I'm like, motherfucker, do you not remember that line from the original? He's like, no. I was like, Jesus fucking Christ, why are you even here with me?
Oh, man.
So there were some cool moments. The Johnny Storm thing was fucking funny. It was funny to see Chris Evans like in the MCU. Just
that cutback to him saying all that shit was brilliant.
But you get the joke, right? It's because of the Captain America thing of language.
Yes.
So that was really... Yeah. So Marvin, I don't know if you know. You remember the original Fantastic Four movies? With Chris Evans and what's her name?
Yeah.
I can't remember her name. But anyway, he played Johnny. Oh. The Fantastic...
Oh, you...
Yeah, what the fuck is her name?
Biel?
Nope.
Jessica Biel?
Mm-mm.
Was not a Jessica?
Jessica Alba.
Yeah. I knew it was a Jessica.
Yeah. Those movies.
Yeah.
Chris Evans played...
I do remember, yeah.
Okay, Chris Evans played Johnny Storm. Johnny Storm is in Deadpool. For no reason other than to see Chris Evans cursing up a fucking storm. There's like a little thing where you think Deadpool's like making up a story that like Johnny Storm talked all this shit about the villain, and then later on in the end they cut to him like actually saying the stuff, and it's him saying some of the most like heinous, fucking disgusting, vile curses ever. But the joke is that Chris Evans as Cap in MCU never cursed, and he has that one joke in Avengers 2 where he's like language, and then they all make fun of him for saying it. So.
Yeah,
and he says hell or damn. I think
he says as Cap. I think he says darn. Doesn't he say darn or damn? No, maybe
he says
damn.
Hell or damn. It's not because he doesn't say anything as bad as bit. I think he says damn.
Oh, you're right. And what's her name? Who plays the agent?
Like, oh my God, language. He's like, I know.
Yeah. So that was funny. The Blade thing was cool. Wesley looks good still. He's old as fuck.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they got Elektra. Like that was surprising.
Yeah. Christina lost it when they're like, oh my God, Deadpool, I'm so sorry. She's like, it's all right.
The X23 thing was cool. It was nice to see her back.
Yes.
I hope they bring her into the MCU. She's great. And I think she'll be a good way to pass the torch, like the Wolverine torch. But the big surprise.
A lot of comic book covers in this movie.
Oh my God, that they recreated. Yeah. And that's what this movie was. This was like a fan service movie. And then I didn't really, people complaining about the plot and stuff. Like, I'm just making an observation. The plot wasn't that good. It didn't ruin it for me, though, because I was having fun with all the other shit that it did. Especially the surprise cameo, fucking Henry Cavill as Wolverine. And goddamn, does he look good as Wolverine?
Shit. The Cavalrine.
Oh,
Not
man.
just a myth. Yeah, that was great. That was great.
He looked
Speaking
good.
of,
look at that.
He looked
this
good.
poor motherfucker.
Oh, yeah, Marvin, you can probably find the clip.
Got some news about him that's not good.
God, give him a break.
Yeah. Apparently, Games Workshop has reiterated that Amazon's highly anticipated Warhammer 40,000 film and TV series will not happen unless both companies can agree to creative guidelines by December of this year.
Poor guy.
And they have not agreed to. They told the game company said, in 2023 of December, they're like, we'll wait till December 2024. And if we can agree to strict guidelines on what is going to take place or what will not take place in this movie and TV series, it will not happen. So Henry could get fucked out of a whole new franchise because Amazon and the game company can't make an agreement.
Poor Henry. He just can't do what he actually wants to do.
He can't catch a fucking break, man.
No, he can't. He just can't catch a break.
I think they'll get the deal done. Hopefully they'll get the deal done. We'll see, though.
I really want him to play Wolverine.
Ticking.
I really want him to play Wolverine.
Yeah, that would be good.
Like, he looked good.
Would be good.
He could do it.
Yeah, I saw the pic.
Oh, he looked good. It's the pic doesn't do it justice, though, because the scene in question. So basically, Marvin, the plot of Deadpool is that they introduced the concept of anchor beings, and basically the anchor being is a meta way of saying, like, the star of each franchise, basically. Okay.
Yeah.
So Deadpool takes place in the Fox X-Men universe, and Wolverine is the anchor being because he's the most popular character. He's the star of that franchise, right?
Yeah.
Well, that Wolverine died in Logan. And the concept is introduced that when the anchor being is killed, the universe slowly dies. So Deadpool is trying to save his universe and the people he loves in it. And he jumps around to other universes to try to replace the Logan that died in his universe. So he goes around getting other Wolverines. And it makes for a really funny montage where he's running into Logan variants. And one of the variants is Henry Cavill, but you first see his back and he's like working on a fucking motorcycle. And he turns around, it's Henry Cavill. And, Deadpool makes like some quirky remark about
the Cavalrine. The rumors are true.
The rumors are true. The legends are true. But then he makes fun of. He says, "I'm sorry for the way those guys up the street treat you," like meaning like DC.
DC. Yeah.
And then he just fucking throws his claws out and fucking charges it. Oh my God, it's so good.
It was good.
It was good. I love the depiction of Wolverine in this movie too. By the way, just really quick.
Yeah.
Like they gave him like the animalistic stuff that he has in the comic books, like him fucking like charging on all fours at that. Oh my God, that was so good. It was good.
Yeah.
They did a lot of, it was just a good fan service movie.
Even the whole story of why he wore the suit.
Yeah, that was cool. I liked it.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Yeah, Ben, Ben is a big fan of Deadpool.
Yeah.
He enjoyed it too.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's not the type of movie you're gonna go to for like deep fucking plot and shit. Like it is what it is. But anyhow, what other news you got for us, Dusty?
Well, that's what we talked about DC. Let's just move over there real quick. Penguin is not the only spinoff to the Batman now.
Oh, good.
I don't even know. We haven't confirmed whether or not the Batman is actually a DC Elseworlds officially, or it's just something they're calling whatever. It's not DCU. Anywho, producer Dylan Clark revealed there's another television exploration we're going to do. We're looking at this entire world as it relates to who Batman is, the antagonists around them, the crime that has to be navigated in the city, and we're trying to figure out where are the areas to best explore. Now, they talked about doing a GCPD series, but that was shelved a long time ago. Penguin is obviously coming out September 19th of this year, so it's actually coming out next month sometime. But I don't know if this is going to be a different boss Maybe we'll do a Joker or a Scarecrow or a Croc. Who knows? But it sounds like they're probably going to focus on another villain, but there is another spinoff in the works for The Batman, which
that's another spinoff. I mean,
yeah,
maybe they're kind of dragging. Like, I don't know. We haven't even gotten the Penguin yet, and we're already getting him.
That's what I'm saying. DC's always been in the business. This is why the Elseworlds thing is fucking annoying, because I know it's an executive thing where they were like, yo, James Gunn, we need you to leave room for making these like separate stories, because their most successful shit is Batman stuff. So they're never going to stop making other Batman shit. That's spin-off stuff.
Yeah.
So I have a little more comic book news. I don't think you were here when I mentioned it. I don't know if I mentioned it to Marvin, but I'm excited about it. Maybe you did talk about it. I don't know. Todd McFarlane announced that the title of the Spawn film that is still very much in active development is King Spawn.
Yeah, King Spawn. Yeah.
And I have to imagine they're adapting the King Spawn comic book where one of my favorite characters makes a comeback. And that is this serial killer, Billy Kincaid. He's from like the very early Spawn comics. And he kills kids. Yes. And he's the son of a politician, and he's protected, but Spawn gets him. And he's been in hell this whole time. Hey, look, there it is. Wait, you didn't show it good.
Wait, what was that?
That was King Spawn.
King Spawn.
Oh, I missed it.
So Billy Kincaid comes back, and he tries to get Spawn to like take over the throne of hell. So I have a feeling that's what the movie's going to be about. But Todd McFarlane said that the original idea... Oh, that's a cool cover.
Yeah, that's sick.
Todd McFarlane said that the original idea for the film, for it being like a more low-key sort of like horror-esque detective thing, kind of went out the window. I'm a little disappointed. I was excited about that, but whatever. We'll see.
Yeah.
So what other news you got for us, Dusty?
There's a signed one.
Oh, nice.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I got comic books. Okay, so what's up? Let me pull this back up.
He's got comic books, folks. You've heard it here first.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Marvel.
Oh.
2 untitled films added to the 2027 calendar. Did you guys see this?
I did not.
Avengers Secret Wars obviously coming in May of 2027, but we have one untitled Marvel movie. Will open in theaters on July 23rd. Another one on November 5th. We have no clue what these are, but they do have a lot of movies in the pipe that they're trying to take care of. So yeah, we got 2 more movies coming out in 27. And speaking of new stuff coming out, Kevin Feige talking about Marvel special presentations. We had we had Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special.
Yep.
And we had Werewolf by Night.
Yep.
And then we had nothing in 2023, and we had nothing in 2024. And they asked him if there's going to be anything in 2025, and he said simply no. But he did say there will be more. You just have to wait. So Marvel special presentations 2026, we'll get another one. So fuck us, I guess. We loved the ones that they put out, but
Silver Surfer was supposed to be a special presentation, but I guess they scrapped that.
They scrapped it, or it's not ready yet. He said there are several in development, but we just have to wait. And he confirmed there are none coming this year or next year. So 3 years without a special presentation kind of sucks.
They also announced season 3 of What If is going to be the final season, and they're doing Marvel Zombies, the animated show, is going to be like 6 episodes or something, miniseries.
Yep.
Yeah, that could be cool.
And it's rated TVMA.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah, they said it was.
Deadpool was fucking violent, and I'm so happy they finally decided to like run with the rated R stuff, because
fuck them kids.
You can't be doing Punisher and Daredevil and all this stuff and like pussyfooting around, you know?
Yep.
Yeah.
Give the people what they want.
We were talking about Daredevil Born Again. It has already been renewed for a second season before the first season airs.
Big.
Oh, wow.
So, and March 2025 is when that is going to come out. I don't think we have an exact date yet, but it's coming up pretty soon. We got spring, so
this is why I said
to make it through
earlier. I have hope now, because I think we're finally getting to the point that they wanted to be at. where
So you're saying they got all the woke stuff out of their system?
No, I think obviously we've talked about this. Feige was sort of forced to produce more shit.
He was spread thin. They didn't have showrunners. They didn't have show Bibles. They were doing it the wrong way.
But it was all to validate the existence of Disney Plus, right?
Yeah.
Show after show after show. Creatively, from Feige's perspective, this was a great opportunity to tell stories, some small, some big, and have crossovers. Oh, we see Daredevil in his own show, and just like the comic books, oh, hey, Daredevil just popped up in this fucking movie with Iron Man or Spider-Man or whatever. And I think prematurely, because they needed to validate Disney Plus's existence, that hasn't been happening. That's why the shows have kind of fallen flat for a lot of the reasons Dusty just said. But I think now we're finally getting to the point where that dream is going to become a reality, where it's like, oh, here's the Fantastic Four. Oh, fuck, Spider-Man showed up. Oh, shit, it's Spider-Man in this fucking Hawkeye show. Like, that's going to be a really cool thing. It's very comic book-like. You know, it happens all the time. Where Wolverine shows up and fucking fights with the Avengers and this, that, and the other. So I think we're getting there. Just some growing pains, you know?
Yeah.
What else you got, Dusty?
Well, speaking of rated R stuff, Kraven the Hunter.
Oh, shit. Here we go.
Rated R. Now, obviously, this was kind of a giveaway, given that they released a Red Band trailer, I think sometime last year. We kind of figured it was going to be R-rated.
Yeah.
And this is actually the first Sony Spider-Verse movie will have an R rating. Everything else has been PG-13.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, Tom Hardy hinted that the final Venom could also get an R rating depending on how it's chopped up and edited. But we are going to get an R-rated Kraven the Hunter, so maybe it'll be better than the rest of them. Or maybe it'll be an R-rated piece of shit instead of a PG-13.
It'll be an R-rated piece of shit. Yeah, it'll be an R-rated piece of shit. Yeah, for sure.
But that was a piece of news. Also, Star Wars Skeleton Crew, people gave us an exact date. That's coming out December 3rd. I know we got the trailer for it. I don't know if the release date we talked about it, but December 3rd, so that's coming out.
Yeah.
Sean Levy, who did Deadpool and Wolverine, we were just talking about, he was talking with Variety, and they asked him about his future with Marvel. He said, I don't know what form my Marvel future will take, but I'm very confident Marvel and I aren't done with each other. Nothing confident or confirmed, just that, you know, if Marvel calls, he will answer the calls, what it seems like, which is good. He did a pretty good job with Deadpool and Wolverine, but
yeah, it was a very ugly
maybe
movie,
a better story. Yeah.
But otherwise,
but I didn't.
okay.
I don't know. I guess we got second season of She-Hulk has not been officially announced, you guys. But the producer Wendy Jacobson was talking to comicbook.com, and they asked her what a second season would look like if they did greenlight it. She said, "I mean, if we're doing more She-Hulk." What I love about She-Hulk is just kind of being in the character's everyday life. It's a woman in her 30s trying to navigate her life and her career and her friendships. And she just happens to be able to turn into a Hulk. So I think we'd love to explore more of that. But she also says there's also a run in the comics where she goes into space and she's adjudicating cases for the Living Tribunal. So I either want to be super, super grounded in LA, or I want to take her out into the multiverse or into the universe and
just get fucking weird with it.
Just get fucking weird with it. So I don't know. I'm kind of actually like, if we're going to get weird with it, let's just get weird and go into space and let's do some Living Tribunal adjudication. That'd be fun.
I still don't think that show was that bad. Wasn't incredible, but it wasn't that bad as people. I mean, you know,
it takes most of its shit for the visual arts, but that's when they had the graphic design was trying to unionize and they were striking too. So
and because it was woke. Don't forget about it being woke, Dusty.
Yeah, it's woke. Yeah, but that's really all the news I kind of had. I didn't, I just moved halfway across the country.
No need to explain yourself. You did a great job.
Just now getting settled in, so things will get better. I'm probably gonna have some stuff on the walls around here too, to backdrops and whatnot.
You did a great job. Thank you again. I thought the Tom Hardy thing was going to be the segue. Because
I mean, I thought about it, and
but yeah. So thanks for the news, Dusty. Let's get into the movie this week, and that is The Bikeriders, starring our boy Tom Hardy.
Yeah.
So let me tell you something. let me tell you something. This movie had me fucking about to relapse and smoking cigarettes again.
I bet.
This movie had me wanting to fucking join a motorcycle fucking gang. This movie has me wanting to get into knife fights and shit. Take me back. I need to go to the 50s. I don't know if you guys know this about me. I don't know if I've ever shared this with you guys, but like, I love the 50s. Like, I've talked about this. Like, I romanticize the 50s. Again, minus like the fucking racism and like
you wear blue jeans and white t-shirts, Dan.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, this movie was like fucking made for me, boy. And I was very, very excited to watch it. Unfortunately, I think it's one of those movies that is like just a victim of the current landscape of cinema, I guess. Because like we said, it was.
I don't know if it was though.
I don't know. I hope I'm wrong, but this movie I haven't heard really anybody talking about it. It got released and then came out on fucking streaming like 3 days later, and I was like, oh well, that sucks. That's usually like a fucking death nail for something. But let's talk about it. See what you guys think. So this was directed by Jeff Nichols. He's one of my favorite filmmakers working. This guy does not have a bad movie. You could fucking watch them all and check me, but he does not. Shotgun Stories, amazing. Take Shelter, amazing. Mud, Take Shelter, Midnight Special, amazing. Loving, one of my favorite movies. And now this, The Bikeriders. So this guy is a banger machine. Funny enough, he is the brother of the lead singer of one of my favorite bands, Lucero, and his brother's name is Ben Nichols. So he was inspired to make this movie because the band Lucero has a song about these bikers called The Bikeriders, and he had originally wanted to use a photo from the photo book for his album cover, and he was never allowed to. And Jeff Nichols is quoted saying, my brother introduced me to the coolest book I'd ever read. And so both that song and this movie is inspired by a photo book of the same name, The Bikeriders, which was put together by a photographer by the name of Danny Lyon. Danny Lyon is actually a character in the movie. He was the guy who was interviewing everybody.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And the photo book was, so at that time in the 60s, like journalism kind of like shifted and it became about like photography and like it was more like a little bit avant-garde. So he was literally embedded with this biker gang. And he was living with them for several years and just documenting like their lifestyle.
While he was in college, yeah.
Yeah, while he was in college. And he went on to become like an activist and all this stuff. I think he did a lot of campaigning for Bernie Sanders back in 2019 and 2020. But yeah, so this movie is inspired by that. And it's just a really cool like piece of history because it's based off of one of the first biker gangs and one of the largest biker gangs, in history. But I think there's more to the movie and to the story than that. But we'll get to that in a little bit. But let's see. What'd you guys think of it, Marvin? Marvin, you go first. What'd you think?
I thought it was good.
A little worried about you. I'm not gonna lie.
Why?
Sometimes with like slower paced movies that are kind of about nothing, I feel like sometimes you don't like them.
No, it was great. Like I always enjoy the motorcycle gang type stuff. Like Sons of Anarchy was good.
That's right, you did like Sons of Anarchy. I forgot about that.
Yeah, gang stuff is, I don't know. You know, America loves gangs, so.
Yeah, it's what's really cool about this movie though is like you just made the joke. They're not a gang, or they weren't.
It's a club. They weren't. They did evolve into.
Yeah.
Got too big.
Yep.
But yeah.
Yeah. Well, it was some buddies from a local neighborhood that got together, and then it evolved into,
devolved.
Devolved. Yeah. I thought it was interesting how they even came up with like the guy just was watching something on TV and was like, I want to do that, basically.
So he was watching The Wild One, which stars Marlon Brando, which is a famous film from the 1950s. And
I haven't seen it.
It's Marlon Brando. He is obviously a cultural icon. He played the Godfather, and he fucking Jor-El and Superman. Like he's a huge, one of the biggest stars like ever to work in the industry. But the Wild One is considered to be like the original outlaw biker film. So the character in this movie, Bikeriders, portrayed by Tom Hardy, Johnny, was inspired to start the club based off of Marlon Brando. And I don't know if you noticed it. You probably wouldn't have, Marvin, and that's not like an offense, but Dusty might have. But I don't know if you noticed, but Tom Hardy was like being very much like Marlon Brando in his portrayal of Johnny. It was like he played the part a lot like Marlon Brando, which I thought was really cool. But so go ahead, Marvin. I'm sorry, you were continuing.
No, I don't have much. I thought what was her name?
The narrator, Kathy?
Kathy. I thought she was like one of the best parts of the movie.
Good storyteller. Yeah. I mean, it was basically about her.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Her accent.
Yeah, that Midwest voice.
She's like the only one that like committed to like the accent.
Oh, she had the good Chicago accent.
That northern Midwest. What don't you know?
Johnny had like the fucking Vito Corleone accent or some shit. Like,
Dusty, what about you? You enjoyed it? Don't say no. Come on.
This was a good story, but I don't know. I feel like maybe this was better as a coffee table book. I don't know that they needed to make it into a movie. They put some stuff into it and they left some stuff out. You know, like I get the whole. Okay, so the story you're told is this is based on this photographer who is a journalist who's going to school. So he's following these guys in the 60s and he graduates and goes on and loses touch with them. And they go through this bad spot in the 70s. Well, we know what happens to we have Vietnam vets coming back. They're getting spit on and shit on. And they're joining these clubs because these clubs are accepting them and society isn't. And you have this downhill, like they didn't go into any of that. They were just like, you lose control of a club, you lose control of a club. Like they didn't get into the nitty grittiness of it. Like I like the idea of like a Midwest because a lot of the stories are like the Hells Angels or the Vagos or a lot of these California West Coast biker gangs. So it was a fascinating take, but at the same time, like, I don't know, it felt like almost like a Legends of the Fall, like what's his name? Brad Pitt's character, like that was Austin Butler. He's like this guy that's just floating around. Everybody wants to be a friend. Like they're fighting over, you can't have him, I want him. Looks like neither of us got him. Like, he had that free spirit, which is amazing. It's like, okay, this guy just skating through life and he disappears and comes around and he's not the one to control anything because he's just a free spirit. And you don't really get a whole lot of character development of everybody. I just felt, I don't know, man. I liked the story, but I had so many problems with it too because it was trying to be too much, but not enough, I guess. I don't know. Does that make sense? It was trying to do too much while glossing over a lot of like stuff. I'm like, well, what about this? What about that? Like, what?
I get what you're saying about like getting into the nitty gritty specifics of it, but I don't think the movie was really about that specifically.
Sure.
It was more about like just key group, like just a group of people, but like key figures in it. But more than that, it's about a time period. I feel
it was about the lifestyle for sure. Because like, I mean, the great scene where
I don't even think it was.
They burn the bar down, and he's like, "Hey man, we got to go." And he looks around, he's like, "Nah." They're more scared of us.
Yeah.
Like that's that's how it was. Sure.
So obviously,
but we all know that's how it was for a little while. Like that's the obvious stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So I actually think Johnny is the main character of this movie. While that might not seem obvious. He kind of is.
Yeah.
I think it's obvious.
Obviously, the main dramatic crux of the movie is Kathy's struggle to pull Benny away from the club. And the story is told from her perspective, but it's the perspective of a wife who kind of is like, yo, enough of this already. Let's grow up, right?
Yeah.
The other motorcycle club members may have like aspired to the image of being an outlaw, but they're all just kind of like putting on a front. Like Johnny was not that guy. In fact, real accounts of Johnny say he was much more of like a lover and not a fighter. Like he didn't like to do those things. And that's kind of, it's like he started a club. He wanted to start a social club. And so the movie is really, I think, about that, like the end of sort of one era and the introduction to another. Like Dusty said, like you had all these kids coming back from Vietnam. Society wasn't accepting them, so they turned to crime and this, that, and the other thing. But that's not what, like, their story is not the movie. It's just about the transition of generations, which we've actually found ourselves talking about a lot lately with that. Like I was talking about, like having, like every generation has that shift. Like I think for us, that time shift was like what I've been talking about is like Blockbuster closing down. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. It's like a clear point of like point A to now where we're at is point B, where like we're just consumed by the internet and social media and stuff. Yeah. And back then,
analog to digital was probably the largest shift of our generation.
Right. So to me, this movie was really just about the generational shift, just told through this story of like a group of guys who started a social club, because the movie shows like the snowball of how it got out of hand. Like he started the club locally, and then it's like, oh, I guess we have other chapters, and like, I fucking don't even know how many people we have or how many chapters we have. And then they're hanging out with people from fucking Hell's Angels coming from California, and it's like it just took on this whole life of its own. But so, you know, just a little bit about Jeff Nichols. I mentioned, he said the coolest book I'd ever come across was the Bikeriders, and the real bike group was the Chicago Outlaws Motorcycle Club. And he has a quote that I was reading, which I think is really telling about the film, and I lost it, so give me 1 second. Found it. So he said there was a specific line in that Lion, the photographer, had written for the 2003 edition of the book. And this is how Jeff Nichols like was inspired. This is where he put his focus on it. And the quote is, many people say that incident was the end of the golden age of motorcycles. And that was referring to Johnny's death. Like he shows up for a fucking knife fight and gets shot dead. I think that really happened. I think like obviously a lot of the stuff is loosely based off of this real stuff. I know Johnny died. I don't know if that's the exact way. I'm pretty sure he did though, because I tried to do a little bit of research, and some stuff said that like it was a transition between, and she says it in the movie, the beer drinkers and the pot smokers. And those two camps represented like a very different group of people. Like Johnny has the slick back hair and the fucking Marlon Brando shit and like the nice button up shirts and the fucking jeans, and like he was like a 50s greaser like biker guy, and this new generation were fucking disgusting, gross fucking just outlaws. So I think that's really what the movie's about, is just like the end of one era and a transition into another, because the real bike gang, it did go on to become like a large crime fucking gang. Like they got into human trafficking.
They turned it into a gang.
Yeah, like all sorts of shit. And I actually found the movie like profoundly sad, because like that's not what they were. They never wanted to be that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I understand that. I think
well, and he says that though, like in the movie when Johnny's talking to what's her name, he's like, you know, you can give your all to a thing. You can put everything you have into it.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, it's still going to do what it's going to fucking do.
Mm-hmm. What were you going to say, Marvin?
Yeah, you're talking about like the main character. Like,
yeah.
I feel like the main character was the club.
Oh, like, that's interesting. Yeah.
Like how it gets influenced by people that come around. Like Johnny was like not really trying to lead it that way, but these other guys come from different backgrounds. Like the one guy that shot him, he comes from a broken home, nothing to lose. Mm-hmm. Obviously, he's looking for like bigger and better things. And
he came from the chapter that was the first chapter they opened that he didn't want to open to begin with.
Yep,
the Wisconsin chapter. I know some guys in Wisconsin. Yeah, I don't know those fucking guys.
I thought that scene was so great too when he tried to get in the club and he's like, all right, I'll take you, not your friends. And he's like, all right, cool. And he's like, nope, fuck off. You're going to ditch your fucking friends like that? Fuck
and
you.
You failed. Yeah. That was a good scene.
There's a lot of great actors.
Which is a little problematic because the guy, like he goes home, he's got his buddies with him, and I guess stepfather's beating up on his mom or something, and he beats up on the old man, and then she gets mad at him and tells him to get out.
Yeah.
Throws a plate at him. And like he turns around and she cowers in fear. Like he's acting like, I would never hurt you. I'd never do that. He's the piece of shit, and I'm out of here because I can't take this toxic stuff.
I didn't take it.
But then he turns around and becomes like that exact same thing. Like he got turned away by somebody because he did the wrong thing, and then he shot the guy.
I think the scene, I understand what you're saying. I don't think that, I didn't take that from that scene. I think what that scene was meant to show is that, like, you're supposed to think he's defending his mom. And then when she gets scared, you realize, like, oh no, this kid's fucking crazy. And she's scared of him. Like, this goes beyond, like, what we just watched. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's how I took it.
Well,
but
we don't know, but
yeah. But I think there's a lot of really good actors in this. A lot of actors who worked with Jeff Nichols in the past, and they all play like really good characters. So you got Austin Butler as Benny, who's like, man, a few words. He's just kind of like the rebel young kid, like willing to fucking scrap if he needs to. Might have a little bit of a screw loose. Kathy, played by Jodie Comer, I thought she did an amazing job. In fact, the real life Kathy, there's not a lot known about her. There was some recordings of her during the interview process in the 60s, and Jodie Comer was able to really like capture her, I guess
listen to it and studied.
But apparently for Austin Butler, there's like not a lot known about his the real life character, so he kind of just like made up his own thing. And yeah, just shoot off a bunch of other actors. Michael Shannon's in this. He was playing Zipko. He was hilarious. Boyd Holbrook was great. We had Norman Reedus was the Hell's Angel guy who came from California with the fucking dirty teeth.
Yeah,
that was kind of funny. Like, you can't.
Of course, someone said, like, it's like he found out they were making a motorcycle movie, and he just kind of like needed to get a part, and it was just a random, just randomly showed up.
That's why he's got to play Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
Paul Sparks is in this. Love Paul Sparks. But I don't know. This was just, I thought it was just like, it did a really good job of like telling this story of just like camaraderie. And like, yeah, they were into some fucking like, maybe some less than ethical shit and burning down bars and all this stuff. But like, it really was just a social club and friends hanging out and like, sticking up for each other. And like, when what's his name dies, who's the Brucey? When Brucey died,
the electrician, yeah.
When Brucey died, you see the shift in Johnny. He becomes like listless, and he just doesn't care anymore. And he's like, it kind of isn't what I like set out to do. And like, he's trying to pass the torch on to Benny and like all this crazy stuff. And by the end of the movie, Johnny, of course, dies to the kid. And the kid brings a gun to a knife fight, and the movie ends with Kathy, basically explaining how she lives in Florida with Benny. Benny's a mechanic working for his cousin, and they're happy. But I don't know if you guys took it this way. When she says we're happy, it's almost like she's convincing herself of this. And
she is. They're because they're not. Yeah.
I think they're like happy enough, but
there's no way that he does not regret riding.
Right.
Or not riding every day. He regrets that every single day he wakes up.
He misses it for sure.
I think he also regrets not being there for Johnny.
Yes. Well, and that's the thing is like, she talked about it. She's like, I've never seen him cry, and at the very end, he's softly sobbing on her porch. Like, that's a big scene. Yeah.
He had left at that one point. He wasn't there for Johnny's death, and he probably feels that like, had he been there, he could have helped. But she says like, oh, we're happy, but like, it's that, we're happy, because she also is harboring some resentment towards Benny, because she almost got fucking gang raped at that one party, and he wasn't there. And that was her big gripe with him, is that like, yo, you love this club more than you love me, it seems. So she's holding on to that for the rest of his life. He's holding on to the fact that he wishes he was still riding and he was there for Johnny at the end. So like, they're living a life, but are they truly happy? You're left to kind of wonder. So Yeah, I don't know. I think the movie did like a really, really, really good job of taking these like real life people who and like crafted like a pretty compelling story around it.
Yeah, I think speaking on if they're happy or not, she wasn't. I don't even think she was happy there, like because they both were involved in that life, and I feel like when you're in that life, it's just like a constant like high, like a dopamine rush.
Yeah,
and it's kind of like when an addict gets clean, it's like you always have like the temptation or the missing getting back into doing whatever you were doing.
Right.
So it's like you're not really happy, but you're like you have to keep fighting and like telling yourself like, oh yeah, this is good. I'm content.
Yeah. So apparently in both, just a couple of little facts about the real people, like what is little is known about them. So Johnny, who's Tom Hardy's character, in both real life and the film, he's the president. He was a married family man. He was inspired to start the club after watching The Wild One. And a good quote about him that I like from Jeff Nichols is, when you look at Johnny, you see a man who gets outpaced by the times. And that's really, I think, what the movie is about, is that they all just got outpaced by the times. Like, you know, he's this 50s slick back greaser from the, you know, this greased back hair greaser from the 50s who he wasn't able to maintain like what he started with all the new shit going on.
Just got too big. Like,
yeah. And
inviting
also
more people in, I'm sure, you know, the money was probably good because everyone's paying their dues. So the money's probably coming in.
Yeah.
But it just gets out of control.
And I think that's one thing that this movie did amazing is like the dynamic between Johnny and Benny, that Johnny, I think, knew pretty early on that this social club is for us, but we've kind of outgrown it, or it's outgrown us. And I don't want to run it anymore. And he keeps trying to like push it on Benny. And Benny's like, I'm not the fucking guy. Yeah. And his argument makes sense. Johnny's argument is like, you're the guy that everybody who joins, like they want to be you. They want to be as free and unadulterated or unfiltered as you are. Like that's you are the dream for every bike rider. And you should run it. But to give that much responsibility to that free of a spirit is in itself hindering the spirit.
Right.
So that's one thing that I truly loved about this is like the dynamic between Johnny and Benny, like Johnny trying to run it and trying to find someone to replace him because he knew he was old, but you can't give it to that. You need that guy on your right hand to run a club. Like because Benny tells him, he's like, you're a fucking adult. Like, what am I going to do with a club? Like, I don't even know what you're talking about, my guy.
Right.
Yeah.
So I that was one thing that I really loved about this movie. So
did you guys feel the profound sadness at the end of the movie like I did, or is that just me?
Yeah, no, I was there.
I don't know what it was. Like, I wasn't sad because like Johnny died. It was just like I don't know. It was just like this weird like type of thing of like, and I think it's just like the passing of like a time. Like, I think it's just what it is. It's like nostalgia.
Is that? But it's like something pure becoming corrupted and like tainted.
That
from
too.
Just
you lived through something that was raw and you experienced it, and then you saw what it turned into, and you sort of resent it a little bit, but you also miss it. Yeah, because it was also fun and exhilarating. So yeah.
Right.
And Johnny, so he was like a really fucking nice guy. Like this was not his lifestyle at all.
Yeah.
According to
he was a family man,
Danny Lyon. So in the book, it's talked about how like many members of the club like would die in accidents, and the Outlaws would send their condolences by buying like huge floral arrangements. There was one part in the movie that kind of showcased that.
They rejected it.
There's a quote from Johnny in the book that says, "We buy for all the club members that do get killed or die, even if they're not in the club, if they were in good standing when they quit." So he was just like a nice guy. Like, you know, he fucking whatever took care of the dude who got jumped because he wanted to become a cop or whatever. Like he kind of always did the right thing. So
it was that old timey, like if you were done and you wanted to quit, he'd let you leave. If you wanted to join, he'd let you join. And then that younger generation was like, oh, we got these rules, you know, blood in, blood out, blah, blah, blah.
I love the fucking casual nature of like where they would challenge him for leadership and be like, knives or fists.
Knives or fists, yeah.
And in that first fight that they show in the beginning, they're like beating on each other. He's like, all right, you done? You all right? We good?
Yeah.
We good now? And it's just, kind of funny. Like that's just, because like we said, it started out, it wasn't supposed to be like a fucking, crazy fucking gang, but they did like little sort of like gang type stuff, but it was like sort of
only when you mess with them. It wasn't like they were like running drugs and all this stuff. They were just
you see the escalation.
It was always respectable though, even with the guys when they were at the park, when the guy's like, I was looking at his carburetors and he said I scratched his bike, like and then we're gonna fucking fight,
and then they're gonna
sit down and we're gonna drink some beer and we're gonna have a conversation and all's good. Like we don't do that anymore. We just yell at we don't even fight anymore.
Yeah.
We just yell at each other on the internet and then we hate each other for it. Like
that's right.
Let's go throw some blows and then shake hands afterwards, and
that's right.
Life would be better, I think. I don't know. Maybe I'm
I thought it was interesting right before he went to the knife fight with the young kid, the interaction with his wife, where it's like she doesn't even really know that he's the leader of this big organization. Like she probably thinks he's just hanging out with friends, because she just casually asked him like, can you grab some eggs on the way home? And he's like, man, I might not even come home tonight. Like, I'm going to a knife fight. And it's just, I thought that was just crazy.
I thought you were talking about Benny's lady, because she was like, what do you need? He said, nothing.
Yeah.
No, Johnny's wife.
Yeah, Johnny's wife. Yeah. She was like, get some eggs. He's like, yeah, sure.
And they were Johnny's wife and Kathy were completely opposite. Like Kathy was like basically all the way in, always hanging around, and Johnny's wife wasn't even really aware of what was going on. She didn't even really take part in the activities. So
I mean, because it was just like it's like a social club.
We assume that we don't know because the movie didn't really tell us the story, and that's why.
No,
I do have some problems with it.
Yeah, no, I mean, I get what you're saying. I just think there was like a specific goal in mind for this. Like, I don't think it was meant to really go into a lot of that stuff. Like it purposely chose to. I don't think it was I don't think it was a shortcoming of the movie because it was like purposefully done that way. It doesn't feel like they missed something or that they rushed in editing and like had to cut stuff. That it didn't feel that way to me. It naturally felt like they told the story they wanted to tell.
That's what I'm saying. Like I enjoyed some parts of it, but some parts of it I thought I was
No, for sure. But yeah, so Danny Lyon, the photographer, so he lived with these guys for I think it was like 3 or 4 years or whatever, and then he like left and went off, and he kept in touch with some of them. Most of them, obviously he lost touch with and found out that they died and stuff like that. But I was reading some stuff with him. He felt like the movie made him very emotional because it's like him reliving his childhood. He was like in his 20s when he was like hanging around with them. So it's not a straight up true story. Like it's inspired by, and but Lyon has said he believes that the spirit of those bikers lives on through his work and now Nichols. So apparently the movie did its job. He says, quote, I don't think they were searching for anything. I think they were having a great time being themselves. And I think the movie definitely showcased that. But yeah, I love this movie. I think it's my favorite movie of the year so far. Trying to think of like what else came out this year. There hasn't been that much stuff, but I think this is probably up there with my favorite.
Yeah, we're gonna have to go back because we need our top. What do we do? A top 5 list, top 3 list? What do we do? I forget.
Yeah, we usually do something.
I think
like that.
Civil War. I enjoyed Civil War probably more than this.
Civil War was very good.
Actually, Civil War was better.
We got to go through and I got to look up the list of movies released in 2024.
Godzilla was good,
but I hope this gets like some
good stuff.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah, we have.
Anatomy of a Fall was good.
That was good.
Yeah.
I hope this gets some sort of Oscar nod because everybody in this movie was fucking really, really good. Tom Hardy especially. Right. Tom Hardy's fucking just such a he's a destroyer. He's just like, he's such a fucking good actor. He's such a commanding. I liked
him in the Moonshining movie, I think, better.
He's just a commanding presence. Like he is. Like in this movie specifically, like he was just like he was like a subtle guy. Like he wasn't like, he was just fucking calm and cool, but like you saw the authority that he had and like how these guys respected him and stuff. And I that's like I don't know, it's just a lot of credit I give to Tom Hardy for being able to pull that off. But yeah, everybody was really good. Apparently this guy Austin Butler has been like criticized because people said that like he kind of kept with the Elvis shtick like after he did that movie, and people kind of said like he was like just being fake and stuff.
Oh well, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I was talking to Christina about it because she didn't know that he played Elvis. She's like,
yeah.
She had no clue. She's like, I didn't know, because he's blonde haired. I don't see it. But when I saw him with the black hair, like whoever picked him to play Elvis was a genius. And he kind of picked up that accent. And some people say he's held on to a little bit.
Yeah.
But maybe that's just, I don't know. Maybe is he typecast like a Mark Hamill, fucking Luke Skywalker now?
I don't know. I thought he was good
always
in
Elvis.
this. I thought he was good in this, but I don't know. I don't know about you guys.
I think he's good.
But I'm about to.
I like him as an actor better than what's the other asshole that we watched several times in the last. He did the rom-coms. He was in Top Gun.
Fucking the Capybara. Glenn Powell.
Yeah.
That's like not even you're comparing. Yeah, Glenn Powell. You're comparing fucking apples to oranges. They're like completely different levels of acting. But yeah. So great movie for me. Highly recommend it. It's got a 6.8 on IMDb. I'm bumping it up to an 8.
You go first, Dusty.
I'm not giving it a bump. It's getting a 6.5 from me.
Okay.
It's good. It's worth a watch, but it's not. I was hoping for more. I was a little down. But again, there's some things I really love about this movie. So I would recommend watching it, but not as great as I had hoped.
It's fair.
I think I give it an 8 too.
Oh,
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it quite a bit.
It's a character study. Like it's a movie.
Yeah,
it
is.
It's a subtle movie.
But I wanted to know more about some of the other characters. Like I wanted a little bit.
I understand
more.
that desire. But you know what this was? This reminded me a lot. Obviously,
for a 2-hour character piece, I wanted more characters.
Way different setting, way different story, obviously. But this was a lot like The Holdovers, like just a small.
Mm-hmm.
So this is what movies like. This is what movies are. Like this is it. This is good filmmaking. It's a fucking good story about characters that's shot well. It's directed well. It's got great acting, great writing, shot. Great cinematography, great fucking soundtrack. That's what good movies used to be. We've lost this a little bit here, and they still get made. That's the crazy thing. Is why I said like it's unfortunate that this movie I feel like might have gotten lost in the current state of cinema, because like this is the type of movie that I feel like a lot of people should be talking about. Like this is a fucking great movie. Even though you had problems with it, you're sitting there being like, yeah, no, this is a great movie. Yeah,
I mean, so in comparison, I thought Last Stop in Yuma County was a great character movie, and I loved the character development of that movie and what they went through. You didn't like it so much. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I thought the character development was better in that one than in this one. But to each his own.
No, that's fair. No, that's fair. That's fair. I don't know. I'm probably definitely a little bit biased because like I said, this time period.
Yes. Yeah, I get that.
This whole, like, I would fucking.
There's a little bias.
I'd sell my soul to the devil to go back to this time period. Not like directly back, but just like the spirit of it. You know what I mean? Like the aesthetics, the clothing, the cars, everything was just better back then. Like in that regard. Obviously, women couldn't vote and there was racism, but like, come on. No, it's just, I might be a little bit biased. Not that I want to be in a fucking motorcycle gang, but it's just like, I don't know, that greaser shit. Oh, I love it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so let us know, folks, what you thought if you watched the Bikeriders. If you haven't, highly recommend checking it out. It's a great movie.
Yes.
Hopefully it gets some sort of Oscar recognition. At least the actor. I mean, they gotta get some. I hope. I don't know.
We'll see.
But yeah, leave a comment. Let us know what you thought. Next week.
Submissions are open. I guess we could submit it.
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
Next week is the 100th episode of the Harsh Language Podcast. So be sure to join us. We don't know what we're doing, but we're gonna have something kind of fun cooked up probably. And you can follow us on our socials. find us on our website, harshlanguage.tv. There's links to everything on there. And we appreciate you hanging out with us. We'll catch you next week. Thanks for listening.
Hasta.